about 2 miles into that long road walk, and it is windy. Right now I'm kind of catching a break from this line of pines because most of the wind is coming from that direction. About 3 miles I'll intersect with State Road 53, and I'll follow that for 7 miles up to I-10. And that's where I'm gonna call it a night. Back on the trail this morning after taking 2 zeros. First time I've ever taken 2 zeros in a row since I've been on the trail. It's pretty nice. I actually stayed in a motel just on the other side of I-10 over there. And it's a good place to stay. Lots of fast food restaurants within walking distance. Some diners. And I was able to do a pretty good resupply. And my choices for camping, they're not that great since there are no official campsites along the road walk. But about 20 miles ahead there's a volunteer fire station as well as a church. And I think between the two of those, I could probably get permission to camp there tonight. And both places have water. Check out this canopy of live oaks over the road. Practically makes a tunnel. Leaving the small town of Sermons this morning. And a cold morning, 34 degrees, frost on the ground. And last night in Sermons I camped out at on some church grounds. And it was a nice evening. And today I'm hiking towards the Aucilla River, and I'll get my first view of the river sometime this afternoon. Just finished that 48 mile, actually 48.7 mile road walk from the Swanee to here. And I'll be entering the Aucilla WMA in 1.5 miles, and then the river is just beyond that. And here is the Aucilla River. This is where I'm camping tonight. This is the upper Aucilla camp inside Aucilla WMA. And right down here is the river. Hiking along the Aucilla River, and the trail will continue to go alongside the river for the next 7 miles. Yeah, at that point it disappears and the river continues underground. And I'm going to camp tonight at the Aucilla Sinks Camp, and that's just about 3 miles or so beyond where the river disappears. This is the Aucilla River Rapids. Another look at the rapids. And here's where the river disappears underground. Check it out. That's amazing. See all the stuff that is washed in. For the next few miles, I'll be coming across sinks like this one. Pretty cool stuff. walking into the Aucilla Sinks campsite. This is where I'll camp tonight. And my water source will be from the sink that's just behind me. Left camp about 30 minutes ago and enjoying this last bit of trail along the Aucilla Sinks. But wow, the trail along the river and the sinks, amazing. Really cool stuff to see. Later today, I'll be entering in about 10 miles, St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. I've heard a lot about that place, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of foggy this morning. I didn't realize it was foggy until I actually got out of the woods and started this 7.5 mile road walk to St. Mark's. About a mile northeast of here, the Aucilla River returns above ground, and I'm on US 98 crossing the river. Heading back into the woods. Now back inside the Aucilla WMA. Arrived at the St. Mark's NWR. This is the Pinhook River. This is the Pinhook campsite. It's the first campsite inside St. Mark's NWR. And I'm just going to check it out real quick and probably take a break here before I head on to the next campsite. The stream, as well as the river just a couple minutes back, is considered the water source here as long as it's low tide. Otherwise, when the tide is in, the water is brackish. Well, this is it. A couple benches. A few flat open areas. Wouldn't be a bad spot. Just collected 4 liters of water from this small stream that's just west of the Rookery Loop Junction. The campsite I'm heading to about 4.5 miles ahead is the Ring Levy campsite, and there are no water sources there. And this was the last spot where you could actually grab some water for that campsite. So right now I'm at, for me, full capacity of water. Very rare that I carry this much at one time. So far inside of St. Mark's, I've seen some deer, wild pigs, alligators, an owl, and now a couple more deer that have just noticed me. There they go. This is absolutely some beautiful trail along these levees here in St. Mark's. And behind me, beyond all that black rush, is the Gulf of Mexico. This is where I'm camping tonight. This is the Ring Dyke or Ring Levy campsite. And really nice place, completely exposed. I checked the weather before I decided that this is where I was going to stay, and only have maybe a 20% chance of showers around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So I don't think I've got too much to worry about, but if there looked like there was a storm that was going to be rolling through, this probably wouldn't be a good place to camp. But nice breeze coming through here. No need to worry about mosquitoes or gnats. It's just really, really nice. And the sun's starting to go down behind me. The views out here, it's amazing. Really amazing. But I think this is the best place I've camped on the entire trail. And there's been some nice places, but this I think just tops them all. Well worth toting in all that water today. Because none of the water around here you can use even at low tide. It's all brackish. And speaking of tide, it's high tide is at 6:30, and that's probably no more than 30 minutes or so away. St. Mark's River. It's about 8 miles ahead of me, and I'll cross that into the town of St. Marks. And I hear it's really easy to get help crossing the river by just flagging down boats that may be passing by at the time, and they seem to be willing to help you get across. That sounds really cool. I look forward to that. This is Stony Bayou Pool number 1. Here at the Port Leon campsite, and I'm going to take a break here before I head to the St. Marks River, which is just 2 miles ahead of me. This is it. Pretty similar to the pinhook site I saw yesterday. I'm about to come out to the St. Marks River. See it just in front of me. Check it out. There's the town of St. Marks. Now I just need to get across the river. And there goes the boat that helped me just get across St. Marks River. Very kind people. I waved them down, they came over, I asked them if they could take me across. And the gentleman said, sure, no problem, hop in. Since I got into St. Marks, had a cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke at the Riverside Cafe, and did a resupply at Boland's Grocery. And I was actually surprised at the stuff they had in there, the stuff that I like, stuff I use. So it was a pretty good resupply. And now I'm heading to where I'll stay tonight, a motel at the Shell Island Fish Camp. And wouldn't be surprised if I end up taking a zero here tomorrow. It's a nice little town. Just hiked back to the trail this morning from the Shell Island Fish Camp, and not a bad place. It's less than a mile west of the trail, but I stayed there for a couple nights. Actually ended up taking 2 zeros there. St. Mark's, man, what a great place. Nice town. Very friendly, accommodating people. I enjoyed it. And the fish camp is right on the Wakulla River, which I'll be seeing again here this morning in about 4 miles when I cross it on US 98. Where the Florida Trail separates from the bicycle trail coming out of St. Mark's. Thought it was going to be kind of a short road walk along US 98, but there's actual trail that runs alongside the road. Pretty nice, keeps you away from the traffic. This is the Wakulla River. Back inside the St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. Just come out to the Wakulla trailhead, and I think I'll take a quick break here before I continue on. This is a really cool section of trail. Look how dense this forest is with mostly palm trees. Here's the trail going back south, and the salt marsh right over there. This place is really cool. This is the Wakulla Field campsite inside of St. Mark's NWR. And pretty standard for the St. Mark's campsites. A couple benches, some flat area for tents, and that's about it. I'm at the Porter Track campsite, and this is where I planned on camping tonight, but the water source for this site is a few miles back, and it's not usable during high tide. It's a spring, and it becomes brackish during high tide, and while I was passing through there, it was high tide. So I think I'll go on to the next camp, which is, I think, about 5 miles ahead of this one. And the water source for that site is along the way. I think it's going to be just an hour or so from being low tide by the time I hit there, so I can probably get as much water as I usually like to have at camp. about a third of a mile from the Spring Creek Bridge, and the section I'm going through right now is really overgrown and torn up. In fact, the part not too far behind me was over a tidal marsh, and looks like there was a boardwalk there because I saw pieces of it scattered about, as well as a lot of trees turned over, and I'm just wondering what happened there. But I made it across the marsh. Fortunately, with all that blown over timber, there was places to walk, so I didn't sink up to my knees in mud. Here's another section of that, going through another tidal marsh where the trees and boardwalk look like they've just been blown away. In fact, right there is a small piece of a boardwalk, and a larger piece over there, and the path that I just came from directly that way, and this is where I'm trying to go. Hope I make it. Made it to the Marsh Point campsite. This is where I'll be camping tonight. And this is actually the last campsite inside St. Mark's NWR. Tomorrow I'll be entering the Appalachicola National Forest, which is right now a little less than 6 miles ahead of me. And this is the campsite. A couple benches, flat spots. My water source was 2 miles back at Spring Creek, right at the end of where those boardwalks had washed away over those tidal marshes that I went through. But I got all the water that I needed. Just left camp a few minutes ago, and the trail is going by this marsh. About half a mile from US 98, and I've been debating since this morning whether or not when I get to 98 I'll leave the trail and head north for about half a mile to where 98 intersects with US 319. There's a convenience store there, and thinking about going there, and I'm sure they'll let me use an electrical outlet, and I'll just top off my batteries. And I know I just left the fish camp in St. Mark's yesterday, but what I've been thinking is when I hit or enter the Appalachicola National Forest, I may not have another chance to do that for maybe 70 or 80 miles. And I think a portable battery I carry with me would be enough, but just to be sure. Plus, while I'm there, I can get a sandwich and something to eat, because I don't need to resupply. I've got plenty of food, everything I need. Well, I did notice this morning I might be a little low on toothpaste again. I wish I would notice that while I'm still in town. So I think it might be worth heading half a mile up to that store and half a mile back to the trail. Back on the trail now after heading up to that convenience store. And in about a mile, I'll enter the Appalachicola National Forest. And it looks like tomorrow, yeah, most likely tomorrow, I'll start the Bradwell Bay section. And I know it's probably going to be a little slow going through there.